Associative memory. Today we will learn about associative memory. It is a very important part of machine learning algorithm. An associative memory is a content-addressable structure that maps a set of input patterns to a set of output patterns. A content-addressable structure refers to a memory organization where the memory is accessed by its content as opposed to an explicit address in the traditional computer memory system. The associative memory are two types: auto-associative memory, hetero-associative memory. An auto-associative memory retrieves a previously stored patterns that most closely resembles the current pattern. In hetero-associative memory, the retrieved pattern is in general different from the input pattern, not only in content but possibly also in type and format. Description of associative memory. An associative memory is a content-addressable structure that allows the recall of data based on the degree of similarity between the input pattern and the pattern stored in the memory. Example: the figure below shows a memory containing names of several people. If the given memory is content-addressable, then using the erroneous string Christopher Columbus as key is sufficient to retrieve the correct name, Christopher Columbus. In this sense, this type of memory is robust and fault tolerant because this type of memory exhibits some form of error correction capability. In this figure, we can see that we are giving an input Christopher Columbus, BOS. Then we triggered it in a memory. This is called associative memory. So where there are some names, auto-associative memory will do the things what is the associated with this name. We can see that the number associated with this number, associated that Columbus is similar to Christopher Columbus. So the output will be Christopher Columbus. So from this figure we can easily understand that the output will be same as the similarity as the input patterns. So we should be noted that an associative memory is accessed by its content, opposed to an explicit address in the traditional computer memory system. The memory allows the recall of information based on partial knowledge of its contents. Here we can see associative memory is a system that associates two patterns, or X and Y, such that when one is encountered, the other can be recalled. The associative memory are of two types: auto-associative memory and hetero-associative memory. What is auto-associative memory? Auto-associative memory is a memory type that consider this type of format: y1, y2, y3, ym. Here we can assume ym to be the components of this vector, representing the features extracted from the patterns. The auto-associative memory will output a pattern vector when inputting a noisy incomplete version. Hetero-associative memory. Here the memory function is more general. Consider we have a number of key response pairs where C1 Y1, C2 Y2, dot 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 CM YM. So in this form, hetero-associative memory has need to these kinds of pairs. The hetero-associative memory will output a pattern vector YM if a noisy or incomplete version of CM is given. So that means when we give an input to our memory, give an input in the structure CM which is not complete, which is incomplete, then it will give us an output which is output pattern which is complete and correct. Neural networks are used to implement associative memory models. The well-known neural associative models are linear associator is the simplest linear associator and Hope-Field model. Linear associative associator is the simplest artificial neural associative memory. Hope-Field model and bidirectional associative memory (BM) are the other popular NN models used as associative memories. These models follow defined neural network architecture to memorize information. Working of a associative memory. Example: an associative memory is a storehouse of associated patterns which are encoded in some forms. When the storehouse is triggered or excited with a pattern, then the associated pattern pair is recalled or appears at the output. The input could be an exact or distorted or partial representation of a stored pattern. Figure below illustrates the working of an associative memory. Here we can see that the three types of patterns: one is symbol, one is operator, and one is number. So three kinds of patterns. We give here input patterns del. So what will be output? Del will find the pattern like his pattern. So the output pattern will be symbol, as input pattern is a symbol. So it gives us this type of output. It is a symbol. Associative memory classes. There are two classes of associative memory: auto-associative memory, hetero-associative memory. An auto-associative memory, also known as auto-associative correlator, is used to trace a previously stored pattern that most closely resembles the current pattern. A hetero-associative memory, also known as hetero-associative correlator, is used to retrieve pattern in general different from the input pattern, not only in the content but possibly also different in time, type and format. So from this figure we can see that here in the hetero-associative memory we are giving a input like a triangle. The memory is in the memory a triangle and a diamond shape is stored. So what will be output in hetero-associative memory? The output will be diamond shape because it is the system of hetero-associative memory. But in the auto-associative memory, when we give an input which is incomplete, and when we give an incomplete input, it will give us a complete output like the input patterns. So in the next video we will know some more things. Thank you everyone. Associative memory. Today we will learn about asset memory. It is a very important part of machine learning algorithm. An associative memory is a content-addressable structure that maps a set of input patterns to a set of output patterns. A content-addressable structure refers to a memory organization